every shot that you would usually see in most of my videos, I have to draw them out. This isn't my best.
You create a
Yeah,
storyboard.
this isn't my best.
There's not a lot of creators that do
This
this.
isn't my
Wow.
best like work, but like I guess how I view it is like if I can tell what's going on my page, I write my notes. I know like okay, I gotta get this shot twice. Then like I can make everything else on my camera make sense.
Disruption.
How do you imagine like reaching like the pinnacle of like your career and like all of your goals? Like where do you want to be in the next 5 to 10 years? Like what is success to you?
So success to me, uh, it's very complicated at times because I'm someone who definitely likes to hit a goal and is already setting their next
Mhm.
goal. One of my biggest goals, though, is to be one of the greatest directors of my generation. So for me, I like to set a huge goal that isn't going to be obtainable in the next 5, but maybe in the next 10.
Mhm.
But it gives me something to continue to chase after and run after. But in the next 5, I definitely see me making movies that hit a theater near you. A lot of
Mhm.
audiences there supporting the films, maybe getting an award, acting, pushing myself like I've never done before, and just showing people that I truly do love filmmaking, and I want to do good things, and I want to create great films. So I definitely see that in the future. I see a lot of original projects. I see my team Wolf Graphic being a household name. So
Do you see a day where you see most of your content coming out as long form, or do you see yourself still innovating and evolving with short
so
form?
I feel like long form is definitely going to be something for me. It's
Mhm.
nothing. It's not like this is how it started. It's kind of evolved to that point, and
Mhm.
even from Vine, some people could tell like there's a filmmaker in there. He wants to do more, and like
Sure.
going over to YouTube has allowed me to show people that I can make an hour long project, an hour and 30 long project, or like whatever it may
Mhm.
be. Like it's a challenge for sure. It's not the easiest thing in the world, especially like when you don't have like the biggest, like there's a lot of things at play when it comes to making a film, and I've had to run into a
Mhm.
lot of these adversities, at such a young and early stage. So now it's like I think in the future I'm just going to be prepared to be making these long form projects that people would love to go back and see over and over again.
It's challenging with that type of content on YouTube, right? Because it's not the most optimal platform anymore for doing in real life type content. We've seen that, with other, channels that have created in real life
Yeah,
video game content, like Corridor Digital or like Freddie W. They've always had to create other channels or other forms of content to really, keep the
yeah,
lights on, because the Naruto videos like series that you've done, that got like over 100 million views, I think
I,
collectively,
I
correct?
believe
Like,
so.
I mean, yeah, those were very successful videos, but YouTube sort of changed their algorithm where it's not as optimal, and there's a lot of risk to really invest that many resources into a piece of content on
Yeah,
YouTube these days, of getting a return. And so no, that's very interesting as you are, a creator, you know, loving the process of being a director. So you talked about King Batch, who and several others like Daystorm that are people that helped inspire you. Who are some of the Hollywood creators that are filmmakers that you really look up to and you want that you'd love to learn from?
number one on that list is a director named Edgar Wright. He's made a lot of beautiful films: Scott Pilgrim, Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead, Baby Driver, and the list goes on.
Mm-hmm.
But he's someone that has really stuck out to me, and like I just watch what he does, and I want to learn, and like I love that his film style feels very free, and it feels very like
Mm-hmm.
you can tell his hands are in every part of the making of this film, and that's something I truly love from
Mm-hmm.
watching Edgar Wright's films. um There's people like Christopher Nolan, of course. He's made my number one favorite film of all time, which is Inception. I love a lot of the films that Christopher Nolan does. I love how he can add his realism to the craziest of ideas and find a way to just ground everything, you know? I love that about
Mm-hmm.
him. When it comes to actors, I mean, there's so many more directors, but when it comes to actors, there's Will Smith, there's Leonardo DiCaprio, there's Michael B. Jordan, the Denzel Washington, there's
Mm-hmm.
James McAvoy, um, and again the list goes on, but those are just off the top of my
Yep.
head. Those are people like, the movies that they're a part of, I really get to see them push themselves as actors, directors, actresses. Like, I love how people get pushed in so many different directions. James McAvoy in the movie Split and Glass literally plays like seven different personalities, and I'm just sitting here blown away because I'm like, whoa, like what type of like training, studying does this require to be able to jump into so many characters and to really flex his skills? There's shots where it's just solo, like one takes, and he's doing all these switches in the same take. And it's different from a cut and we switch characters. He's doing this in front of our faces. There is no illusion. And I love that
Mm-hmm.
grounded stuff, and it inspires me to continue to push myself.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. And I think it's really important, especially as like these two worlds are like bridging and in some ways
Mm.
colliding when it comes to traditional entertainment and digital, entertainment. Um, you getting inspiration by these very high quality, high production value content, um, kind of just really lifts the bar in just so many different ways. What is your creative process when it comes to coming up with a video idea and then taking the right steps and actions to make sure that idea is executed well and ends up being successful? What do you look at? What goes into the planning?
So if it's a concept that's based off of something like a source material that I'm inspired by, I definitely start with studying the material, watching this, understanding the shots that were placed and why. Um, Watching actors, watching how they act and why they're acting the way they are, and then it goes into like steps of creating the video because you know there's a huge difference between the planning part and then the executing part, and that goes from
Mhm.
the writing of the script to the filming of it to then the editing board, where all three of these things that were prepared could be changed between these processes. But something that I have to keep me on my toes is I have a little comic book, and what I like to do
Oh
is
wow!
every shot that you would usually see in most of my videos, I have to draw them out. I'm a very visual.
Oh wow!
I'm a very visual director, and sometimes it's hard for
Hmm.
me to describe a shot that I want to my videographer at the moment. So it helps me, it helps them, it helps my entire set to be able to draw the entire process out. Now, this isn't my best.
You create a
Yeah, this isn't
storyboard.
my best.
There's not a lot of creators that do this.
This isn't my
Wow.
best like work, but like I guess how I view it is like if I can tell what's going on my page, I write my notes. I know like okay, I gotta get this shot twice. Then like I can make everything else on my camera make sense. And
Oh wow.
so basically, like every shot that we see is something that I drew out. So when I'm there, it's like I know exactly what I'm doing. I know exactly how to do it. I know exactly how much time it's going
Mhm.
to take. And it's just about figuring out the process as we go. Because even with as much preparation as you have, there's always speed bumps in the road. There's always speed bumps, and sometimes you have to find a way, even like through adversity, you still have to find a way to navigate. Because sometimes things are unpredictable on set.
How do you determine if it's going to be successful?
I mean,
Like, what are the things you look at? Is there data that you look at, or how do you make those calculated
I
decisions?
guess the biggest calculated decision is about the effort and the heart placed into the content itself. You know what I'm saying? One thing I've always
Mm,
told myself, and I tell other creators, is that you can't predict a blow up. You know, you can't predict something to go viral, because sometimes it will be the most random video that you could ever think of. You post on there, and it goes 10 million views, 15 million views, and you're like, whoa, you know?
mhm,
But it's like, you know, be grateful for those moments 100%. But it's also like, you can't predict a blow up. So, what the energy I like to bring to all my content is that I'm going to put 100% into this video, and I'm going to put 100% to make sure that this video is better than my last video. Because even if my last video doesn't get the love that it truly deserves in that moment, say I make this other video or I make the next video and it ends up going viral, then I truly believe that new people who've never seen my content before are definitely going to go check out everything else. And they're going to be like, whoa, you know, and I feel like the success of
mhm,
this video will bring success to other videos. So I feel like the energy is to always pay 100% to everything you do, and that's going to guarantee
mm,
your success. So that's why it's like, you know, we bring out these shot lists. That's why, you know, I edit, I direct, I write, like a whole hands on all the project process, because I want this to be better than my last video. And, you know, I want to put that effort in it. You know, this is something that I truly care about. And 5 years from now, I want to watch the content I'm making now and be happy and smile and enjoy it. And so far, it's been like that. So,